Hello and welcome to episode 52 of the Unfuck Your Biz podcast. This is your host, Braden, and today I am joined by Karen Escobar, who is the owner of Golden Coast Marketing. Karen works primarily with small business owners, course creators, and service-based business owners, and she provides email marketing, funnel strategy, and paid ad services. Hi, Karen. Thanks for coming.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
You got it. How's it going?
Good. A little bit chillier in LA than I'm used to, but
I'm sure it's so brisk. Yeah. Do you live downtown as well?
I work downtown, but I live in the city of Monrovia, which if anyone is familiar with the Festival of Roses on New Year's Day in Pasadena, Monrovia is 10 minutes away.
Got it. Okay. I mean, I don't really know where that is, but we'll roll with it. I know the Rose Bowl anyway. Okay, so let's just kind of dive in. Can you share a little bit with my audience specifically about when you got started in business, how long you've been operating it, and that kind of thing?
Yeah, so I started my business in December of 2018. And so it's been a little bit over a year now, and it's crazy. It's gone by so fast. And I really feel like the first year in business, I was just trying to figure everything out, trying to just, DIY a lot of things. And it was definitely great because I feel that I learned a lot, but as my business grew, as I got more clients, etc., I have been able to kind of implement these systems to help me automate a lot of things and just make life easier.
Love it. Okay, so December 2018. So you joined UFYB, my signature program, in October of 2019, which was really just a few months ago. So you'd been in business for less than a year when you joined.
Yep. Yeah. And even though it'd been less than a year, I think as much as I was able to figure out certain things, the legal and tax part of it was just, it was so overwhelming. I was like, I need some help. I felt like every time I had a question, I would Google it, and then I was going down this Google search rabbit hole, and I would just end up with more questions, and it was just insane.
Well, give us an example of something that you Googled.
Yeah, so something that it feels really simple, but that I just could not figure out was quarterly taxes. I just couldn't figure out, okay, how can I calculate them? How do I know what to pay? Who do I send this to? I just felt like as much as I was going on these websites, there was no straight answer saying, do this, mail your check here, you're good, you're not going to jail.
So were you mostly reading blog posts, I'm assuming, probably from accounting firms?
Yeah, I was reading a lot of blog posts, and I felt every time I would try to go to just the IRS website, it was a lot of just jargon that I didn't understand. And again, it just made it really complicated. And so that was something where, I'd been in business for 10 months before I joined your program, and I had not filed any quarterly tax. It almost became this thing that I knew in the back of my mind I needed to do, and I just avoided.
Yeah, the interesting thing about the IRS website, to me, it's actually pretty helpful, but you have to really know what you're looking for.
Exactly.
And you have to know the buzzwords in order to search, right? The other thing about doing research through the IRS is that they don't have the IRS doesn't have an ideal client. The IRS does not serve a niche. They serve everyone. So their information has to be very broad and blanketed. And that's not always super helpful. So it sounds like you mostly joined for all the tax stuff.
All the tax stuff, and then some of just the upkeep for, my LLC. When I first started my business, I just did it through LegalZoom, but I felt like that was something where, I just paid them. I told them I needed an LLC. They sent me some papers, and it was okay, I have an LLC, but I didn't really understand the process behind that, or what it meant, what options were as my business grew. And I didn't want to keep on just paying LegalZoom to maybe upkeep things. And then at one point, I know we talked about it very early on, I moved, And I was like, how do I update my address with like the IRS and with the state of California? And that was another thing that I could not figure out. That was another Google rabbit hole.
But that's done now, right?
That's done now, thanks to you.
Because you did your statement information to update your address with the state of California, $20 application fee.
Yes, it was so easy, but it's really having someone to explain that to you just makes all the difference. Like once you and I went over it, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I stressed out about this, spent like 3 hours trying to figure it out on my own. And it was just so much easier once you explained it to me.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to know where to go, basically. Yeah. Okay, so did you start your LLC before you started monetizing your business?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Why is that? Why did you decide to do that?
I just felt like I wanted, first of all, like this clear separation of like, you know, this is my business, you know, and it's separate from me. I also felt it might make things easier because I am still working full time. And so I kind of wanted to have those clear lines of like income. And lastly, I think just for me, from a mental standpoint, filing that LLC was for me saying, this is a real business. I'm going all in. I'm going to put in the work. And I'm going to build a business. This is not a hobby. This is not something I'm going to do for my friends and family when I have time. Like, this is legit, you know? And then after I joined your course, I realized all of the legal protections that come with it. So I was even more happy that I had done that right from the beginning.
Okay, love that. So can you share anything that you learned like in the program? I'm having a hard time phrasing this question, but you used let me just ask you this. You used LegalZoom to form your business. Would you recommend that other people go that route?
It was difficult because they give you all of these options. And again, I kind of felt like when I go to the mechanic, right? And they tell you, oh, your car needs this, this, and this, and you don't really know if you really need it, if it can wait, if you can do it yourself. Like that, it was that same type of anxiety. So I felt like I paid a lot of money for a service, and I think I opted into things that I didn't need. Well, I know now that I opted into things that I didn't need, like them being my registered agent, because they made it sound like you really have to have this. And so now that I know everything that, you know, it takes to form an LLC and why you need certain parts to form that LLC, I would just recommend you can do it yourself. It's not as crazy as they make it seem, and it's not as overwhelming as it seems.
Do you know if they did your original statement of information for you?
Yes, they did the original.
Because that's kind of the problem, right? This is the dichotomy I always try to explain to people. The forms that you have to do, like when Karen was talking about her address change, it's actually really easy. You just need to know what you need to do. And with the online programs, what I find the problem is that there's like this whole a la carte menu, right? I really liked your mechanic example. Yeah. And they give you like this whole list, but it's like, okay, well, what shit am I going to get like put in prison for not doing? And what stuff is like, not only do I not have to do it, but is like kind of irrelevant, unneeded, and just an unnecessary add-on. And if you don't know that stuff, then like it's kind of hard.
Yeah. No, totally. So I feel confident now, like, and even, you know, I'm a mentor for a digital marketing group, and sometimes we have newer business owners who sometimes have questions, and I now direct all of them over to your group. I'm like, look, this is what I know, but go to Braden's group, ask him, and he will help you.
Okay, I love that. Okay, we're gonna get you set up with an affiliate setup real soon.
Nice.
Okay. So tell us. Obviously, you already had your LLC when you joined the program. We know you wanted a lot of information on quarterly taxes. What else can you share with the podcast listeners? Any like specific thing that you learned in the program that you like had no idea about before?
That whole having meetings for your LLC, I had no idea. And I know that was one of my questions. I was like, how often do I need to like meet with myself and take minutes?
Okay, so now you have your meeting minutes done now though, right?
Yes, I did the meeting minutes, but like that was something that I had no idea. And it's one of those things that, like you said, I was like, wait, I haven't been doing this. Am I going to get in trouble for this? Can I go back and do them? So that was definitely one that I had like no clue about.
Okay.
I also really love that even though the students were, you know, from various states, etc., there was a lot of good information to just like think about. I also didn't know that, you know, an S-Corp is like a type of LLC. And so that was something that I, you know, this whole time, everything sounded really daunting. I was like, do I need to go and like what is this S-Corp? And now, you know, going through your course, I feel so much more empowered to be like, oh, you know, maybe this is something I want to consider once my business grows to this size. But I
Right.
think for a while, all of these terms just felt, again, really ambiguous, and I wasn't sure what they meant.
And so now you know the exact form that you need to file and when you need to file it once you want to become an S-Corp,
Exactly.
right?
Yes, exactly. I was like, oh my gosh.
Do you remember the form? Do you remember the form number?
Not off the top of my head, but I have it in my notes. This was actually a course that I took physical notes for because I was just getting so much information out of it.
That's awesome. Well, you've seen the textbook for the new course launch, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
now I have it right here beside me. So now there's like built-in note sections in the
Oh,
lesson.
I love that.
You can print the textbook and take the notes. Okay, super cool. I had something else I was going to ask, and now I forgot about it. Oh, okay. I want you to give, I'm putting everyone on the spot. Can you give any listeners like a tip? So let's say they decided, you know what, I'm not ready to join the course yet, but you want to give them like one tactical tip that they could take away and do today. What would that be?
Join your group, like hands down. If you can't join the course, like join your group, because it just, there's so many resources in
Wait, you mean the Facebook group?
your Facebook group. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I guess that's an acceptable tip. We'll take that. Join the Facebook group. Okay, fine. So what are your next steps? Did you like fully implement all the systems we talked about in the program, or do you have any lingering tasks that you need to do?
So I'm still working through and finalizing, just setting up all of my accounting. So last week I got all of my accounts set up, and now I'm in the process of, you know, transferring automatic payments over to my expenses account, kind of just setting up all of the automatic transfers for like payroll, taxes, profit, all of that stuff. But, you know, even that was really appealing to me for enrolling in the course, because even though I had read the Profit First book, again, I had questions and there was no one that I could really ask these questions to. And so I love that during our calls, you know, we could kind of talk about like, well, how many bank accounts do I really need? Like, you know, how are you setting it up? Like, what are your suggestions for this? And I love that it was tailored to the type of business that I have, you know, or, you know, if students had other business branches, like, again, it was a very tailored approach. And that, I love that. And so that's kind of what I'm finalizing now, is just setting up all of those automatic deductions. So by Q2, everything will just kind of be happening automatically, which I love.
Love it. Yeah, I think I call you guys cohorts. In our last cohort, we had 18 students and there were 9 wedding industry professionals. So like they were kind of their group. And then we had 9. I never knew what to call your group, Karen. I called you guys other service professionals, because like a few marketing people, yeah, like a few marketing people, a few coaches, like business coaches, life coaches, but you were all service based, which is really helpful. Okay, so you figured out your allocations, and since you told us that one of the big things you wanted to crack when you joined was quarterly taxes, what have you determined to be what we both know is called your quarterly tax percentage?
Oh, yes. So mine, I have it at about 30, but I want to go back and again, just double check it. And because I'm in the alumni group, I'm like, let me go through and just double check it again before I do it for Q1 and ask Braden about it. But yeah, I calculated it at 30, but I want to go through and do it again because I actually recently went through and cut out a few more expenses. So I may actually have more revenue for profit coming in.
Or
I mean, my profit margin has changed.
Well, I can already tell you 30 sounds high, so we'll work through it on one of our calls, but I feel like probably 25 will be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So Karen actually joined. What she's talking about is after the course, there's an alumni only membership. So Karen will continue getting like support implementing all this stuff now after the program. All right. Anything else you want to share before we wrap up?
Yeah. I think another thing that really helped me too, and that I didn't realize I needed help with or had so many questions about, was contracts. You know, I felt like, okay, I have this contract that I got from a friend whose husband is a lawyer. So I was like, I think I'm okay. But I like that we went through it, because there are things that I see in other contracts and I'm like, do I need this? Do I not need this? So even being able to work through all the different parts of a contract and just making sure that everything that I need is there. I think I, you know, was going through and was having clients sign contracts because it was like the thing that you need to do. But I love that I kind of walked away from this realizing that the purpose of a contract is for it to be like enforceable in court, right? And so that kind of gives you this new perspective of like, let me really break this down and see if it's working the way I need it to.
Yeah, if a contract's not enforceable, it's really not doing you a whole lot of good. Okay, that's a good tip. What I'm actually doing, Karen, is I decided in the new course launch, so for everyone listening, when the doors reopen for the program, the new course is going to come with a full contract template bank. So you all got one template when you joined, but now like you're going to get the whole, like basically everything that I have. Yeah. And you'll get those because all alums get access to the new course program. Okay, so that just about wraps up this call. I want to remind everyone that I have an upcoming masterclass titled How to Save for Taxes and Manage Cash Flow Without Stress and Overwhelm. So in that masterclass, I'll be walking you through the Worry No More Money Roadmap, which is the process that we go through in the course. This is just one small snippet of the course content. So hop over to bradendrake.com/masterclass to join. There's a few different dates and times to choose from. I've mentioned this in the past episodes. Karen, I don't think I've shared this with you, so you'll get a kick out of it. I also created an email opt-in quiz that's titled, Which UFYB alum are you? So Karen, you are one of the results.
I love that.
Yeah, so you can take the quiz and see if you get yourself as one of the quiz results. But the idea of the quiz really is to see whose business yours would most likely align with regarding people who've actually gone through the program. And then you can learn based on what they wanted to get out of the program versus what they actually got out of it, whether it would be a good fit for what you need in your business. So hop over to bradendrake.com/quiz to take that. Then you can... I'll put all of your guys' Instagram handles in the quiz results so they can tag you if they get you as a result, and then we can share it on social media. As always, if you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review, and I hope that you will tune in for the next episode. Have a great day. Hey there, before you go, I wanted to give a quick thanks. Thanks so much for tuning into the show. If you loved it, I would love for you to take a screenshot of the episode or snap a quick selfie while you are listening. Share it on social and give me a tag. It'll help other kick-ass entrepreneurs like yourself find the show. That's it for today. I'll be back soon with a new episode. Meanwhile, let's roll up our sleeves and unfuck that biz.